What up, what up, what up, everybody? Hold on a second. Absolutely. Who knows that song? Who knows that song? That is T.I. That's the instrumental to Motivation. Perfect song for us finishing up the introductory chapter. Woo, see? Man, hey, if you ain't got out lately and gone to the club and get your little dance on, you ain't got to be hanging out all night doing the parking lot pimping and all the other stuff like that. But get out there, take your girl out, go find some friends or whatever, and just go out there and dance. I was just dancing for about a minute, and I'm in good shape. And you know, that moving around, man, get a nice little sweat going, get your little drink going, go home, you'll sleep good tonight. All right, this is Plan Your Greatness. You like my shirt? Now, if you can't see the bottom of it because I want a tighter shot, but look, it's green. So it's black, red, and green. This is very appropriate to our topic today. This is the final part of the introductory chapter as we go through, and I introduce myself to the people in the book. I'm doing it on the video, and one of the things I stressed as after I introduce myself is that I share with you that I went through the 5 stages of grief, which are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and today we're going to cover acceptance, because each one goes into the other. You cannot properly go through anger unless you've gone through denial. You cannot properly go through the bargaining until you've gone through anger. You cannot properly go through depression until you've gone through the bargaining stage. And you never can get to the point of acceptance until you have gone through the depression and cleaned up some things. They've been doing research on this for years, and they know that just the human mind, the existence, as far as how you need to progress to get to the point where you are now functioning normally. All right. So we are going to cover, again, this is the introduction part of Plan Your Greatness. And this is the acceptance part of grief, the last one. When you've gotten to this level, you are now ready to really make some powerful changes in your life. And so these are things that I went through that helped me get to the point. It inspired me to edit my journal and turn that into 3 volumes. That's something we're going to be talking about later on, as far as how you can get a hold of the actual content, the things that I was going through on a daily basis, which formed the journal, which Expressions of a Witness. And then that turned into, as I was doing that, the 3 questions, and then turned into, what's my title again? Here we go. Plan Your Greatness. Life, Love, and Business After Sports and Prison by me. All right. So this last part, we're just going to kind of take you on a journey, and we're going to try to get through this quickly. But this is very important. You must go through those other stages before you can get the fruits of the acceptance part of it. And this is just the icing on the cake, which you now can do the things you want to do. All right. So the first part that became evident that I knew I had turned the corner, I had come out of denial, anger, bargaining, and depression. I was in jail. Maricopa County Jail, Madison Street Jail, downtown Phoenix. And I'm on the phone with my mother. And one of the things that I did before that, two things that I did before that. My parents asked me, hey, did I want them to do all the necessary things to raise the money to bail me out? I said no. I said, you've done enough already, because they had hired an attorney. I said no. I said, I'm going to sit in here. You don't need to be spending any more money. I'm accepting this. Okay, that was the first thing. The second thing was I saw people jumping on the phone, calling all the time, 2, 3, 4 times a day. Man, those bills are just astronomical. That's a whole nother hustle in itself as far as charging for the services I'm calling from jail. So I said to myself, I'm only going to call once a week. And I'm only going to be on there about 10 minutes just to touch base. And just imagine that. Imagine nowadays. Now see, this makes more sense. Imagine you only had access to your phone once a week and you were only on it for 10 minutes, what would you do with that time? Think about that for a second. All the bullshit that we do on our phones and looking at porn and goofing around, playing these games, mindless stuff, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, just bullshit looking at everyone else's life instead of doing something productive for our lives. Now, if you were restricted to 10 minutes on that phone once a week, I guarantee you would make that very productive. Or you would just stay a loser. All right. So once a week, 10 minutes. And I'm on the phone with my mom on what we call the blue box. Because that was just a blue phone, just numbers and, it was just imagine, just a blue box. And I'm on the phone talking to my mom. And I said to her, Mom, I'm going to prison. And there was this pause. And she said, oh, well, don't say that. I said, Mom, I'm going to prison. And she didn't want to hear it. And I learned later on at a visit, after I'd been in prison for a while, a visit when my parents came back in November of that year, where my father told me that my mother had basically put her life on hold. She didn't want to even address the issue, the conversation that I was in prison. And I thought to myself, I said, man, how dare I do the dumb shit that I did to get myself locked up in prison and cause somebody else to just freeze their life. Terrible. It just irresponsible. Okay. And with that, it really made me start asking myself the questions on how am I going to turn my life around? And one of the things that I took into account was listening to conversations with people that were in prison. And then I made this connection with how people spoke before I went to prison, what the conversations were in prison, and what was after. And this was one of the most common things I heard people say. Well, everything happens for a reason. Now, I absolutely agree with that. But what I look closely at is when you say that, what do you do afterwards? If you say to yourself, everything happens for a reason, and then you continue doing the dumb stuff that you did that caused you to make that statement, it's not didn't happen for a reason because you didn't make an adjustment. Okay? You go to prison, you get a charge, and then you go, man, I'm supposed to be up in here. Okay, then what you're telling me is you're learning from this and you ain't coming back. But I saw the people coming back. As I see people in life, I see it today. When people say that, oh, nah, this is a blessing, really? And then I see you down the road doing some same old stupid stuff. So that means it wasn't a blessing. And what was I say? Things happen, and it didn't happen for a reason because you didn't learn from it. Okay? So the understanding with that is, the flipping the switch with that is understanding that things are happening for us instead of to us. A person that says things happen for a reason and then they keep doing the same thing, that person believes that things are happening to them. But a person who sees things that happen, makes a change, said that happened for me. Yes, things happen for a reason. It happened for me to learn and to move on to something else. That's the difference. Understand that sense of empowerment there. Okay. Now, there is a difference in how we're looking at this as far as how we're seeing our body and our mind. And this is the acceptance part of it. If you think things are happening to you, you are looking at it from the body perspective. Things are happening physically to my body. But if you look at it and say things are happening for you, you're looking at it from a mental level, because mentally you can change that behavior, which then becomes your physical change. So understand that. Now, one of the most powerful things that I made a connection to an awareness was a book that I read after prison. And it was, where was the book? Right here. It is this, and I brought it up before. It is this. Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl. If this is your first video or you're making reference to other videos I have, that is a book, Viktor Frankl. Okay, let me move this out the way. Viktor Frankl was a clinical psychologist that got caught up in the whole he was Jewish in the Holocaust. So he served time in 2 or 3 of the worst concentration camps there was. And he made a very important point in there. He said that he noticed that the individuals that spent a lot of time in their past, their memory, or their imagination, their future, they didn't last very long. Because he said what's most important is you have to embrace the now. You have to accept what situation you're in and then think, how can I go about, getting stronger to move past it? Because think about it. If I'm in my memory and I come back to the now, if I'm not taking that memory and saying, okay, I had great memories, I want those things to continue in the future, so I need to be strong in the now so that I can then take advantage of when I'm in the future. Okay, you see how that works? And then the people that are in their imagination in the future to say, hey, if I want that future, I must be strong now or I'm not going to get to that future. Very powerful understanding that Viktor Frankl said. He said, you must embrace the now. I'm paraphrasing. He said, I took all the information he put together in the book, and that's what he focused on. He said, you have got to acknowledge the now. You have got to, but here's the understanding with that I took from that. When you're in the past, your great past, you're happy. When you're in your imagination, as far as what you possibly can do, you're ecstatic. But when you come back here to the now, that shit hurts. It hurts. All right. So, and this is why I wanted to do this real quick. Okay, look, I could go back into my past. Woohoo! Look at this. Woohoo! High school Letterman jacket. Oh, varsity letters. Oh, championships. Oh, look at this. Woohoo! Oh my goodness. Baseball, basketball. You throw that away. Woohoo! I could go over here and like in the other video, look at this. I set the school record for strikeouts. Yeah, I could be in there. And then here's me, this little old skinny kid setting the records. And yeah. Then all of a sudden, I turn into this Major League Baseball talent. And I showed this in the other guy. Look at that. Oh my goodness. The number one prospect in the Cubs organization. I could just live in that forever. Now, hold on just a second. See? Where we at? Yeah, look at this. Woohoo! Now I'm in my imagination. Oh, I'm imagining I'm going to be a college graduate. Oh, I'm going to be an author. Oh, I'm going to be a business owner. Oh, look at that college degree, businesses. Oh, I'm going to have cars and a house and all that good stuff. Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm going to live so beautifully. But just as I said before, you got to be able to come back to reality. Because all that stuff I did in the past and all that dreaming I did in the future, it ain't. The past is gone. The future ain't here yet. What are you going to do right now? And that becomes so painful. And that's why a lot of people don't get out of that stage of depression. Because you start looking back and trying to find, you start going to these crazy places. All right, embrace the now. Now, one of the things that I did, I asked my father when I was locked up, because as I was coming out of the depressed state and starting to take accountability and accepting where I was, I needed some tools. So I asked my father, which again, he asked me first, which I was floored, blown away that he asked, son, Carlton, what do you need? And I said, I need a TV, I need $300, and I need you to pay my storage. Very simply, I needed the TV because I could take college courses and I could actually watch, because I know some of you guys don't like this, but they had cable. They had cable in prison. Yeah, they did. Basic cable, ESPN, CNN. Man, I saw just all the basic stuff because I had a television. So it was pumped in. Hey, didn't have to pay a cable bill. But so thank you all you people who paid your taxes and all that stuff, because I had cable. All right, so I had television so I could get cable and take college courses. The other thing was I needed my dad to give me $300 because I calculated in my head, I said, that's gonna set me until I find secure employment where I then don't have to ask. And I think I didn't ask my parents for another dime after that 300. Maybe somebody sent something in, I can't even remember, but I got the 300 and I made that work until I got employment. The other thing was I said, pay my stores. I had a bunch of stuff, and I talk about that in the book as far as once I got out. I think that's in a later video, but once I got out, what I had in that storage that I needed to keep a hold of. And a lot of it's stuff that I held on to and I still have to this day. So it was good that my dad actually did that. All right. Then I read. That is only a sample. And down here, there's only a sample of all the books that I read while I was in prison or my library. All right. This is just in the office. But more specifically, I read. I began to take college courses. I took every anger management behavior classes. There was stuff that I didn't think that even fit, but I just sat in on it, whether it was alcohol abuse, narcotics abuse, anger management, time management, everything you could think of. I was just sitting in, just trying to soak up everything, just trying to figure out, what was going on. And I was able to do that because I was searching. I was searching. I accepted where I was. I was in prison, and I said, I only have a short amount of time in here. Unlike some of the people that I was locked up with who had 75 years, 45 years, 30 years. I had 4 and basically 3.1. 1,241 days. That's all I had. So my clock was ticking. So I said, I need to do that and get up out of here. One of the other things that I learned, this is critical. When you get to the place of acceptance, let me see what time it is. I'm gonna need to take off in a little bit. That one of the things that I understood was that everyone does not see the world the way that I do. Okay? And so I had to understand that. I had to understand, just like elite athletes don't usually make very good coaches. And common sense isn't so common. It's really from just a unique, your own perspective. And that once you understand yourself and start to really understand and listen to others, that is actually pure liberation. And it opens the doors to so many other things that you can do in your life. All right. Now, this was one of the quotes that I have in the book, and this was very powerful. Once I understood that I had made that turn and I was really being accepting of my position and where I was and how I was going to move forward, I added this into the book. And this was what I was thinking in prison, but I didn't articulate it until I got out. I said to myself, I forgive all who I perceive have wronged me, but I will not ask for an apology. That would be admitting they took something from me which they did not. In fact, I will humbly thank them for creating a situation in which I've grown immeasurably from. I want you all to be inspired by something other than being backed up against the wall or a situation like I faced in prison, where I had exhausted all my legal options and or I had thought I did. I want you to be inspired, encouraged by both a positive opportunity and or the opportunity created from a negative situation. Either way, find your inspiration before it finds you. All right? That is it. That catapulted me to the next level of where I'm at and what I'm doing today. I got to run because I got to go get my daughter from school. I'm a little bit behind, but she'll be good. This is Arizona, so it's beautiful outside. But like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this video after you've watched it, and if it's made an impact on you, share it with somebody and give them a little note and say, hey, I believe this video will help you move where you are right now. Okay, so this is Carlton Hamilton. This is Plan Your Greatness. I know you're feeling my shirt. I like it too. Plan your greatness. And I'm going to say this again. Plan your greatness. Why? Because no one will. No one else will. Let me say that again. Let me close real good with that. Plan your greatness. Okay? Why do I say that? Because no one else will. I'll see you guys all next time. Goodbye.